TRS.
I have no concerns. I thought we're ready to play. Our guys look really good. They were great in the dugout today. It's the first game. I'm fine. We're fine.
It's Joe Madden, coach of the Cubs. While the city's freaking out, the manager is staying calm. Ryan Burrow is normally covering all the news for us up in Chicago, but with ABC News, he, of course, the only news coming from Chicago is the Cubs. Good morning, Ryan Burrow.
Good morning. Now, I wouldn't say freaking out. In fact, a lot of the people I talked with last night said, we kind of figured we'd end up splitting in Cleveland. So they're still pretty high in it. That John Lester performance, not his best, but Corey Kluber, oh my goodness. 8 strikeouts in 3 innings. I mean, he was hitting every corner, and I think what you heard in some of the post-game press conferences where a lot of the Cubs just saying, yeah, we got beat. He's really good. Let's take him on tomorrow. And Trevor Bauer against Jake Arrieta, and things will be a little bit better for us.
All right, so you have a pitcher who you're paying $20 million to who can't throw the ball to first base. You have a right fielder you're paying $180-something.
Did you like that pickoff move or lack thereof?
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable that he cannot throw the ball to first base.
For the people who don't know what we're talking about, and who was on first base at the time, it's slipping my mind.
It was Francisco Lenore, I believe.
Yeah, and Lester literally stepped off the mound, was staring at him. He took off for second base, thought twice about it, and Lester just held the ball. It was an absolutely bizarre moment, but he does not like to throw anywhere but home, does he?
He can't throw he physically can't throw the ball to first base. Now, the other one, Cardinal fans are a little more interested in, and that is Jason Hayward. You're paying him $180 million. You took him from the vaunted Cardinals, and he's riding the vine now.
Well, that's one of the big questions too. For Joe Madden, a lot of people don't believe that he was outmanaged last night. They thought it was just kind of the Corey Kluber show. But the fact that you put Chris Coughlin in at right field to start, you get Kyle Schwarber in the lineup, and you've got an opportunity to put maybe Wilson Contreras, who's hitting 400 in the postseason, drop him in right field. But instead they go with Coughlin. It's blowing everyone's mind away. And yeah, Jason Hayward, great defensive player for the Cubs this season, but on the offense, just not so much. And we saw in the NLCS, he just has this hitch. It's taken too long for that bat to get through the zone. And look, they've given him 2 series on 162 games, and he still hasn't gotten it corrected. This is the big time, so they're going to go with the winner.
I mean, this is. You feel for the guy because he's such a nice guy, but. $180 million, you pay him all that money to produce in places like the World Series, in the playoffs. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's just not going on. All right, so no mass hysteria in Chicago after Game 1.
No, the biggest concern is Joe Madden's temperature. I don't know if you saw, but it looked like every time the Fox cameras panned back to Joe Madden, he had another piece of winter gear on. He started off with a hood, had a hat, then had gloves, and had a winter coat. I'm a little concerned with the guy. He grew up in Pennsylvania. He should be able to handle 40-degree temperatures.
All right, Ryan Burrow, let me ask you this question. Is anybody in Chicago complaining about the start time of the games?
No, they love the start time.
Really?
Of this one.
Well, no, right. Of this one. But, I mean, last night, the kids, the first time they've seen the World Series ever, and the kids can't stay up and watch the game.
I mean, there have been lots of complaints about that, not only in MLB, but NHL. I'm sure the Blues have had the same problems where some of these games don't start until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, even in the playoffs. And, yeah, that's always a concern. They feel like a lot of kids are running away, and not only kids, but, some adults got to wake up early, too. And you just can't do it with this. But look, it's a money-making entity, right? And you're probably not going to make as much money with sponsorships running these games at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
I'm glad you brought that up, because when is prime time over? 10 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
When did the game end last night? 11 o'clock?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay, so the game ends outside of prime time. So you can make more money if you sell ads at 9 o'clock than you can at 11 o'clock.
Oh, but if we want to get really down and dirty into the business right now you're taking away affiliates' newscasts in their 6 o'clock hour, and they might not like that.
Well,
there are a lot of broadcast issues that are going on there.
Well, you're taking away the 10 o'clock evening news, too.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah.
It's something that people have argued about for years, and I'm sure that debate will continue.
I don't get it. All right. What's the ticket prices for Cubs World Series game? Are they still
Boy,
hovering around 2,000 for standing room only.
That's about what I'm seeing on StubHub. Remember, too, what people are asking isn't necessarily what people are paying, but we've seen a little bit of fluctuation. They expect those prices to go down now that there is a guaranteed Game 5 in Chicago.
See what he did there?
Course,
See what he did there? Yeah.
I mean, it is quite possible, yes, Indians fans, that the Indians could sweep, but obviously Cub fans feeling a little more optimistic going deeper into this series. But, it'll be interesting to see kind of how it changes. There's only 3 games here in Chicago,
right.
Four in Cleveland. So it seems that the ticket prices in Chicago are a little bit higher than Cleveland, but that's just because probably different pools that you're drawing from. You've always got more rich people here, I guess, that are willing to shell out the big bucks.
Ryan Burrow, I'm actually rooting for the Cubs tonight. I want to see this thing go more than 4 games, so I'm rooting for a long
series. Glad to have you on board. I'll chalk you up here. You and Todd Manley. We'll get you guys are both on my good list.
Ryan Burrow, ABC News correspondent, live in Chicago. Ryan Burrow, hang tight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, 9:47 here, Big 550.